Hi everyone, welcome to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us for the 4 o'clock news, politics, and entertainment hour. I'd like to welcome my first guest, Nick Albanese. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me
coming
again.
back today.
Yes.
I'd like to have you here in studio letting us know the latest and greatest from your playwright expertise, the many sides to the Reaper. We've talked about this a little bit before. You are Sal Scarbella, and this is based on a true story with some names changed.
Yeah, I changed the names of the characters, but it's based on true events of this hitman, the family, and he's in a New York family, 1980s. It's Brooklyn, so it's really cool. I just saw this brief documentary, and then I started reading up on the guy, and I said, this is pretty interesting guy, you know, and everybody loves the mob genre, so it's Rhode Island, and so I just started writing it, and it was probably like over a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you saw the story and it kind of just resonated, was it the fact that it was a new mob story that maybe folks hadn't really heard before that you felt you could bring like a fresh take to?
Well, I think a lot of, if people follow mob stuff, I think they know who he is, but I promised myself I'm not going to say who it is, and that you have to come, see the show, and after every show I do a Q&A with the cast.
Okay.
And then I will let you know at the Q&A who it is.
Who it is.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. This is a complex and complicated character.
Yeah, well, it's many sides to him, and it's like, it shows him in his family life at home, his wife and his kid and his mother, and then it shows him with the fellow gangsters, you say, at the club and doing activities, and then it shows him with other people. Just so you see many sides to him, and I think you see that a lot. Like if people watch The Sopranos, they get that. So you're gonna get that whole feel of like The Sopranos and Goodfellas, and it's just I never saw like a mafia play ever made. So I was like, you know what, this would be interesting to bring to stage.
Do a play. We've plenty of mafia movies out there, clearly. So when you're researching the character, so you wrote the play, you're involved with the production of the play, and you're also the lead character.
Yeah, I play Sal.
How do you get into the role?
I don't know. I just go into. I don't know. It just comes to me. I know the guy. I like that kind of character. I always wanted to play that kind of character, and it's just a fun role. And to play him so serious at moments, and then just be so loving and funny with his family at other moments. So I don't know. I kind of like, before I go on, I kind of just focus. I meditate, and you just have to become him, And we just started rehearsing with the guns this week, so. You feel like a gangster with a gun on your side, so. Really,
really getting into the role. And of course, many folks, many hands help make this possible. So tell us about the team that's involved with this.
It's to be on stage and direct hard. So this girl, very talented girl, Rhiannon Annan, she hopped aboard to direct it for me, and she's just so talented. And it's funny because we were talking about earlier, she never really watched any mob movies or anything, doesn't know the mob genre. But I think it worked to her benefit because she's a director, and she sees the story that's on the page, and she helped let that story come to life. And the cast is amazing. We're great actors that are local actors in Rhode Island, and I don't know, it's just like a real good team. We all really came together, and we got up all the props that we needed and pieces of the set, and not just the acting together, but it's like really we all come together to put this show. And it's the biggest thing I've done to date. And there's me with 9 other actors. We got like tons of props. We have tons of set changes. But it's a lot of fun. I think people are really gonna enjoy the show.
So it's coming up opening night, October 11th. You're going to actually be putting on this production in a couple of locations.
Yeah, that's correct. October 11th we open, and we do those last 3 weekends, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, at the Theater 82 in Cranston. And then the 4th weekend is the first weekend in November, and that one we're doing down in Westerly at the Granite Theater, which is I think the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Okay. And how does that work? You know, I love when I get folks in, can kind of get the industry background. You know, going from one theater to another, I mean, production, lights, the whole kit and caboodle. What does it entail taking a whole production, wholesale, from one location to another?
Well, I Last Sicilian, it was easy because I was a one-man play, and that I could bring anywhere.
And you did.
This is This is the first. So we're going to Grant because John, a buddy, he's playing a FBI agent in the play. He is actually part of the Granite Theater. He's on the board there, and we've just been friends for years, but we really never acted into anything together. And so I cast him as this role, and then maybe like a week later, he's like, "Hey, you want to bring it to the Granite?" And he said, "I'll talk." And he talked to them, and they loved the idea, they loved the script, and so we added that fourth weekend on. So this is the first for me. So we'll see how it goes.
So, you know, it's interesting. You were able to bring The Last Sicilian out of state down to New York, and it was a one-person production, and you said that was just an amazing experience.
That was great, yeah.
To be down there. And obviously, this is a production with more people, more hands, more characters. But is that the ultimate hope, that you put this production on here and that maybe it might get some traction and maybe New York? Or is it sort of, well, if that happens, it happens, but now I'm on to writing the next thing?
Yeah, kind of a little bit of both. I'm always on to the next thing. I already have 3 different ideas for the spring. But this, yeah, I think, I don't know, it was easy getting The Last Sicilian because I was the only one.
It was just you?
It was very easy, but like a cast of 10 of us and big sets and stuff like that, well, a lot of props, and like I said, I think if someone outside of this, like somebody who wants to invest, anybody out there, if there's any investors,
Investors, hello.
Yeah, if anybody wants to back up the show and bring it to New York, I'm on board. Definitely, I'm on board. But I don't know. We'll see. And then I'm going to take the winter after this. I'm taking the winter to finish the screenplay of The Last Sicilian. So I have to really focus on that as well. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm the kind of guy, I just take it day by day, you know, month by month, and see what happens.
So let's talk about, again, the focus on the mafia. And, you know, here we are. We're kind of a similar generation, you and I.
Yep.
And, you know, especially here in Rhode Island, parts of New England, parts of New York, you know, definitely generations have known these stories. And as you said, you'll divulge it. You know, as we see the family, if you will, you know, maybe start to get smaller in stature and size, do these stories just live on because they're just bigger than life?
Yeah, I think everyone's had there's a fascination over these kind of characters. These, like, wow, somebody actually lives like that. Like they actually, like, they're going out and hijacking trucks, and they just, and it's like, I don't know. A Godfather was a classic movie, but that was kind of like the opera. Like it was very dramatic, over dramatic film, but. You know, you get the Goodfellas, it shows them more, and Donnie Brasco shows them more real. Like, I don't know if Pacino and Donnie Brasco. He lived in this little apartment, and he lived like, you know, week by week, like a regular guy. Like, you know, depending on how much they would go rob that week.
It really was the nitty gritty, like not very glorified, but you know, the hands-to-hand combat.
It shows these guys, it's not really that glamorous, and they're kind of living day by day. Living this criminal life, and in the end, is it really worth it? You know, it's kind of a sad life, and you'll see. If you come see, you'll see at the end. It's very sad what happens to him, and you kind of like, he's bad, but you want to like him, like, you know, like Tony Soprano. Like
that was just my next question about The Sopranos. Do you think that this is probably the closest, again, showing that family, the intersection of family life and business life?
Yeah, exactly. On the stage, because you know, there's been like Guys and Dolls, and they brought Bronx Tale. They made a musical, and they did Bullets Over Broadway. It was like a mob, but no one's ever like done like a straight play, drama, and a little bit of comedy of the mob. And so that's why I think that's why I'm a lot of interest in this. I think a lot of people want to see it because no one's ever seen that kind of play live. So I'm excited. I can't wait. This is like something that's been in me for a year now, and I can't believe next week we open up. It's crazy. I
know you've been so excited because the last time you were here when we talked about The Last Sicilian, you were already on to this saying, Kate, I got to come back. I got to talk about this. And I'll tell you, the promo materials showing you there, looking as Sal, looking dark. So you've got the facial hair. I mean, what else? What's the transformation? Does it a little darker, a little more prominent mustache?
I don't. I'm growing. I have that out, but I'm taking that out. It's because Sal's just gonna have the mustache, the '80s, the Magnum PI mustache, and yeah, he's just. It's all in the attitude, I think. You know, the mustache is the one thing to help the look, but it's all it's going to be all in his attitude and how he acts to different character, how he acts to his family, how he acts to guys that are ticking him off, you know.
So do you get that 80s vibe when you're in the play and see the play, or again, is it timeless because it's that story of family and organized crime?
You'll get, you mean like in the audience? If you watch, oh yeah, you'll get that 80s vibe because of the clothes they're wearing, and especially Chantal, she plays my daughter, and she, you know, she's in her 20s, but she plays the daughter like older, and she's actually, that's why I was explaining the story. It's so different because it's all told through her eyes. She's like the narrative of the story. She's the only character that speaks to the audience throughout the whole play. And there's one scene where the wife does, and that's it. The rest of the other characters is the fourth wall. We don't acknowledge the audience at all, and so it's told through her eyes, and she's you know, a grown woman telling the story, and then she walks into the scene and becomes a little girl. And it's pretty cool. So it's definitely a little different twist to the mob story of explaining it, you know.
What was the hardest part of either writing the play and putting on the production? You know, to the average person, they go, they look, it seems so easy, it seems so effortless. It's been, as you said, a year in the making, months in the making.
The hardest part, the writing, the first act, I just belted it out, and then I wrote the second act when I came back from New York. Because I was just like so inspired by New York, and I came back and I finished that play and I wrote another one. So that was the easy part. The hard part was casting it, believe it or not, in Rhode Island. I'm like, oh, how hard is it to find? I couldn't find, it took forever to find the mother, which is one of the smaller roles, but there's no small roles, only small actors. And she's great, Trish is great, but it just took forever to find her. I just couldn't believe I couldn't find these actors. And I went through.
But you just found the right ones.
Yeah,
you were really particular.
Meant to be. Yeah, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. And that's why I started casting like probably 4-5 months ago, because I knew it was going to be tough to find the right people. And it worked out. It worked out. And I got the right cast. They're all, like I said, they're all great. We all work well together. And it's just been one of the best experiences I've had doing theater.
Again, opens in Cranston in October, runs for 3 weekends.
3 weekends in Cranston.
And then goes to Westerly.
And the Westerly's the 4th weekend.
And the Granite Theater. We're sure to provide links to that as well.
Yeah.
Now, like last time when we had you in, you're kind of chomping at the bit, hinting to next projects. Anything you might want to give folks a little teaser as to what might be in the pipeline?
I'm still going I'm branching out a little more on the mob theme, and it's actually a story about 2 brothers. One's a loan shark and one owns a funeral parlor. And that's going to be more of a comedy, like a dot comedy. And then
is that based on a true story, or is this
no,
just
no, something I kind of came up with.
And
I came up with, and then there's another one, 2 guys kind of on the lam, hiding out, and they meet a very lovable guy character, and he kind of changes their hearts, you know. So those are the 2 I'm working on. I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to be stealing my ideas.
But as you said, you know, with the mafia genre, and you know, I always like to ask writers and folks who are involved in the creative arts, you know, what is the process? Do you go on streaks and you just, you know, you get hit with inspiration, and are you one of those that you wake up and you have a certain time and you write for a certain time?
I wish I could do that. I have to, like you said, I have to get inspiration. Like the last play I did, Rock and Rob's, the last, and this one, Many Sides, I wrote at the same time. They were just both true stories, and I just got inspired by both of them, and like after that, I was, for almost a year, I couldn't write anything.
So you had a little bit of writer's block after, because you just expended yourself.
That's how I write. It just, like, I had these 2 other ideas now, and now I'm going to start working on them, and the screenplay, and that's it. I go through these periods, so like it's like 3 months, and then I let it all out, and that's it, and then for like 6 months to a year, I have nothing.
Do you think you're going to be taking a deep breath after you finish in Westerly, or is it, you know, you think you're going to be moving right on to those next several projects that you've got in the hopper?
Yeah, I'll be finishing writing, and then I'm actually going to be bringing back, they're going to hear it right now for the first time, Last Sicilian. I'm bringing it back in December for a weekend. I wasn't going to bring it back till spring, but I decided to bring it back for December at the Artist Exchange. But I'll have the date soon.
Very good. We'll let folks know, and again, we'll provide those links to the Many Sides to the Reaper, starting in Cranston and then moving on to Westerly. Nick Albanese, as always, very much appreciate you taking the time to come into the studio. Again, be sure to check out the play. We're going to move from entertainment to public health here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.